Hello, everybody, and welcome to MIC TV. Today, we're going to be discussing your electronic press kit, aka your EPK. That sounds really fun when I say it like that. But anyway, I'm your host, Greg Ferriola, along with my partner, TJ Peterson. For everyone that is watching, even if you're sitting and watching the replay later today or some other time in the future, just drop a hi in the chat, introduce yourself. Feel free to give us some links to where we can look at your online presence because we want to welcome you to the community and support you in any way that we can. Also, before we get started, if you are in need of help at any point in time, you can check out our website, www.musicianindiecoalition.com. TJ will drop that in the chat for you. And if you want to check it out, we have some great resources for musicians, and you can see all the different ways that we can potentially work together should you need help with your music career. Now, today, again, we are going to be discussing electronic press kits, also known as your EPK. And so basically we'll break down, I'll talk about them for a little bit, and then we're going to go into a presentation that we've created for you. We have an example of an EPK that we're also going to show you from one of our amazing members of the MIC community. And then after that, we will be opening up for questions. And the questions can pertain to the press kit or anything about your career. We try to make ourselves available to artists whenever we have the opportunity, so you can get expert advice and help with your career. All right, so if you're ready, let's dive in. All right, now all month, if you've been watching our episodes, we've been covering topics as they relate to your brand, so that you know how to build a relationship with your audience, because your brand is the key element. If you're not physically speaking with someone or face-to-face with them, your brand is the key element that's going to help you develop your relationship with your audience. But in addition to your audience, you also need to work on building relationships with people that actually work in the industry. So we thought it would be a good idea to discuss EPKs as a part of your brand, because it's your entire brand wrapped up into a nice, neat bow that you can present to people that you want to potentially work with on your music events and your music products. Now, this is going to be something that you will use when you're trying to book or promote your shows, or when you're releasing new music. And essentially what your EPK does, it acts as your professional music resume and your portfolio. So people at a glance can see everything that you do, and can determine whether or not you're an artist that they want to work with. Now, it's mainly used, again, when working with press and promoters and people like booking agents. And a question that we get asked a lot is, at what point in time in your career do you need to actually sit down and create an EPK? And the answer to that is you should create an EPK before you begin to start reaching out to press to promote your latest show or live event or your latest music release, or essentially when you're getting serious about gigging and touring and need to be pitching your act to booking agents and promoters. Now, an EPK is an absolute essential tool for everyone that is going to be pursuing music as a career, because again, it's your professional calling card. And just like any other business, if you were going to be hiring someone to do any work for you, you'd want to know that the work that they do is solid and in line with what you're looking for. And this allows you to put your music career in the best light, so that people can decide whether they want to write an article about the release that you're doing, or again, want to hire you to perform at their venue or at their festival. So if you're ready, let's jump into the presentation and discuss some of the elements of an EPK. All right, so again, when promoting or booking live shows, or when you're releasing new music, your electronic press kit is going to be your professional music resume and portfolio. And it should include, first and foremost, your band and or artist bio. Now, this bio should be written in the third person, because it should be people that are going to be using it are not going to want to hear you say I or me or anything along those lines. So you want to make sure that it's easily transferable to them. Now, if you have been following us at all, when we talk about having your bio on your website, we will recommend you writing that in the first person, because you're trying to build a connection with your audience and you don't want to seem distant. And a third person bio will make you seem distant. But in this case, someone else is going to be writing about you, so it's appropriate. And the length of your bio should be somewhere between 5 and 6 paragraphs. And if you are a member of our program, you'll know, or people that have been affiliated with some of the stuff that we've done, your bio will include different sections about different things. And it'll start early on, just kind of giving a summary about maybe some of your personal background stuff, reasons why you're worth following, and an assortment of other things. But you want to essentially word that in a way that people can kind of come in, take the clip that they want, that they're going to use to kind of sell or promote you for their live show or event, or if they're writing an article about your album. And that's why it's good to have a really extensive bio here, because they don't have to use the whole thing, but you want to provide them with enough information that they can use. Now, the next thing that will be incorporated into your EPK are going to be photos and images of your band. Now, these need to be downloadable, and they need to be professional photos, because people are going to be using them to work or post in their articles or anything else that they're going to be doing. So you want to make sure that these are high quality images, not something from Instagram, something that a professional photographer has taken. Now, you want to include a few different official photos with vertical and horizontal options, both in color and in black and white. And this just allows it for ease of use for the people that are going to be taking those images. You also want to make sure that they're high resolution, in case someone from the media or a festival programmer needs to use it for image or print, because you don't want them to have to reach out to you a second time. You just want to make it very simple for them to kind of come in, get what they need, and then utilize it for the purpose that they're going to be utilizing it to work with you. And then you can also, if let's say the EPK is geared towards music release, you can also include images for your album cover. That will also make it helpful for music reviewers. Now, when it comes to the music that you include in your electronic press kit, you want to offer a few tracks. You don't need to offer an entire album. You can if you want to, but you want to make sure whatever it is easily downloadable, because, again, you don't want to make this difficult for people to kind of grab or access the content that you want to provide. Now, when doing this, you don't want to use lossless files like WAV files. You want to use high-quality MP3s. And you want to make sure that on those MP3s that they're embedded with the proper metadata. And you do that through ID3 tagging. A program like iTunes, if you have a Mac, just by going into the program, you can put the album cover in there. You can put your artist information, notes, anything can be embedded in that information. And the reason why you want to do that for is because if they take your music and they download it, having that information makes it, again, easier for them to use with whatever kind of work that they're working on. And if the media wants a full album or EP and you've only selected a few tracks, don't worry, that's okay. They will still have your contact information, so they can reach out and say, hey, really love this. Do you have any more content? Or where can I get the full album so I can really, break it down? That's okay. Just make sure that you're selecting at least your 3 best songs or whatever it is that you're trying to promote. Okay, now the next thing that should also be included in your EPK are going to be music videos. Now, you want to be sure when selecting music videos that you're selecting your best videos, and that the videos you select represent your band and what you're trying to, again, promote. Meaning, if you're promoting your latest music release, the videos should be songs from that album or EP. You don't want to select just a different song from your catalog just because it's your best. You want to be focusing on the music that you're trying to promote. Now, if you're promoting your live shows, then the videos that should be included in your EPK for that purpose should include at least one live video to show people what your live events are like. You can still include, like, if you have official videos or lyric videos in there to let them know what your music's like, that's okay. But if you're going after promoters or booking agents, you do want to have at least one live performance so they can kind of see what your live show looks like. And if you can include things like, visuals of the audience and their response or however that goes, you want to be able to do that because, again, that's what they're going to be hiring you on. And it's almost like your sales pitch to them. Another thing you can do when including videos in your EPK is to create what is called a promo video. Now, your promo video is kind of I would say, almost like a combination of your live events and maybe your bio. And what it's basically entails is you want to explain some of your background of who you guys are as an artist or band. Maybe include some interviews, shots from your live shows, and then maybe include some like clippings of the press and it's basically just like a trailer video for your band. Like, this is who we are, this is where we come from, this is the genres that we play, and here are clips from different live shows. And, it's just this montage of, who you are as a band or as an individual solo artist, and the entire package that will sell you to whoever it is that you're trying to connect with. Now, after we include your videos, the next thing that you want to look towards is including press articles and reviews. And the reason why you want to do that for is because, you want to let people know that you are an artist worth following or has been followed in the past, and you're not just, maybe just getting started out. Now, everyone, for the first time, if you haven't have any press clippings, you're going to have to kind of cross that threshold, but it's not that hard to get press coverage if you kind of go out and search for it. But you want to, in your EPK, include whatever press that makes you seem in a good light. And if you have those articles, the first thing you want to do is, include a quote from those articles, maybe potentially links to the full article in case someone wants to get a more in-depth read into whatever was covered by that press person. So you want to make sure that you pull the best quote and then provide a link to that article. And then you can also spice up this section a little bit if you want by including the logos of the media outlet that did the coverage, and things of that nature. But again, the whole purpose of this part of your EPK is to show that you're an artist that is newsworthy. The other thing that you can kind of include that's kind of along these lines are your notable achievements. So include anything here that is noteworthy about your career, such as festivals that you've played in the past and any potential awards that you might have won for your music or your videos. And essentially what you're trying to do here is just include anything that puts you in a good light. Because again, people are going to work with you based on not only the music that you provide and what your live shows are like, but your overall persona as an artist or band. And the next thing that you want to include, and this is really important, is your contact info. Don't forget to do this, because if they come onto your site and they get all this information and they want to hire you or maybe speak with you further about your album or do an interview with you, you need to provide a way that people can contact you. So you want to make sure that you provide detailed contact information. We would not recommend necessarily having one of those blank contact forms. It's okay if you do that, but your EPK is essentially going to be something that just press or booking agents and people see. So having your direct email address is acceptable, and we would recommend that. But the contact form isn't horrible. It's just some people might feel a little awkward about, not knowing if you're actually getting that contact form email or not. You can also, include your phone number, so that you're completely accessible to somebody as well. But again, you probably wouldn't want to do that on your main site. So hide the electronic press kit from your main page so it's not navigable to just anybody. And the next thing that you want to add, another key point, this might be seen pretty obvious, is you want to also include your social media channel links. This way they can view your online channels, see the size of your audience, some of the press stuff that you've been doing for yourself. And you want to make sure when you're doing this, before that you give these links out, that your online channels are up to date, and that they have a professional look. Because again, if you're looking to connect and work with people in the industry, then it's really important that you come across as a professional artist. Even if you're not earning a full-time living from your career yet, you want to show people that you're serious and that everything is up to date. So if you have a new album that's coming out or a major show coming up, and you're looking to connect with someone about this, have your banners up to date with a promotion for your album or your EP, or, this is the tour that I'm going on or trying to book. So this is the name of that tour and where you can, sign up to get whatever. Just want to show them that this is a serious thing that you're putting forward, so they can, know that they want to work with you and everything along those lines. All right. And finally, you also want to potentially, and this is an optional thing, include a one sheet. Now, what a one sheet is a compact version of several of the elements of your press kit, which can be displayed on a single-sided normal sheet of paper almost. And it's great to use when promoting specifically an album release. So if you were using it for a press, it would just be short bio, maybe an image or two of the album, and then information about that, and then anything else you want to include. Again, this is something that's optional, but what we recommend more than even a one sheet is just making sure that everything we just talked about, the band photos, the music, the videos, all that can be downloadable just by clicking a link. And what that does is it allows someone to come to your page, look at everything, click one link, and then get everything on the page in a nice, neat zip file. And then they can take it away and then use it for their press purposes or for the show promotion, or again, whatever it is they want to use it for. That is the most efficient and best way to do it. And if you want to include a one sheet in there for, again, things like your contact details, that's completely fine. And that's how we would more see it than just downloading the sole one sheet. But those are the elements of the EPK. Now, when it comes to a physical press kit, they're pretty much used less often nowadays. So it's not something that we feel is as urgent that you need to have in place when you begin reaching out to press and promoters. But just be prepared just in case you do need to do a solution for that. Because if you're pitching someone, let's say a radio station on, getting your music reviewed and maybe played, they might be the only place I can think of right off the top of my head that would want a CD, because they're not going to take a digital file and put it up on their service. They're going to want something physical that they can actually plug into their system and play. So be mindful of that. Again, in today's digital age, it's not as pressing as it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but you still want to maybe have the possibility of being able to put something like that together quickly should the need arise. But in today's age, I think you're pretty safe if you can just assemble this in a nice, neat package for people. All right, so I'm going to stop the presentation now. And then from here, I want to briefly show you the example from one of our clients. So here is an example of an EPK. This is amazing artist. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to some of his music or watching his videos, highly recommend it. His stuff is fantastic. Really super talented artist, and one of our best members, if not the best member that we have, just because he's so dedicated and so hardworking. But to look at his EPK, you can see that he has artwork from his latest EP release, his short bio. He has later down there in his EPK, you'll see the extended information for his bio. But right off the bat, he has his download EPK. So people that are coming to look at his stuff can just come see it, download it immediately. And for a music reviewer or an industry person that is, working all the time and very busy, this is super convenient. So you want to make it really easy and accessible. And he's done a great job here of putting that, right up front. And then he moves right into showing videos, introducing who he is, experience, here the magic of Woe's electronic performance. So if he's looking to promote his live shows and get booked, he has it right up front and visible. He's got some pictures from his live shows and some information here. And then, quotes, just like we said before, that are people that have seen the event. So the testimonials, letting people know that not only is his music great, but his live performances are absolutely also equally as great. And I can attest to that too. He really puts a lot of effort. And when you go to see his shows, it's not just him sitting there performing. He has an experience for you, and it's a lot of fun. And then he has his music up foremost here too. Debut album out now that he's working on. And then the music that is, obviously included on that EP. And then additional press information that he has as far as his articles and stuff go, where he's gotten actual press coverage, and then link right there to the full article. And just like we said, a quote, who wrote it, the media outlet that covered it, and then a clip to the article, exactly what you want to have. And then he has additional photos here that people can download that came from the photo shoots that he did surrounding his newest EP and live show event. And then he has extended bio here as well, where, it really breaks down every detail that he wants people in the media to know about. And then again, another super easily convenient EPK download link, so people won't even have to scroll all the way back up to where the original link was. Really well placed and really well done. And then down here, he has his email for people that want to contact, or if people want to use the contact form, they can do that too. So he gives options to either one. So, and then last but not least, again, where his social media is and where his stuff is streamed. So when you are, putting together an EPK, you want to make sure that you're including all these elements in yours as well, because again, this is what helps sell you to the people in the industry that are potentially interested in working with you. All right, so everything basically we covered in the PowerPoint presentation are the main things that you want to include in your electronic press kit. And it really is an essential thing when you're working and are serious about building a career for yourself, because again, these are the things that people who have full-time jobs and are depending on meeting artists like you for their business to succeed and their work to succeed, this is what they're going to want to see and need from you. And the more accessible and the easier you make it for them to not only view your work as a whole, but then be able to download it and experience it, that's as easy as you can make that, the better, because speaking from someone that has worked in the industry, having to search for information, if I have to do that in my busy schedule, I'm just not doing it. So if I came to that Rose page and it was really difficult to read and stuff wasn't organized properly or it was missing elements, I might skip it and not do it. But having everything I need there, making it easy downloadable, is just really, really appealing. And the last thing you want to do is release your album and then have somebody say, wow, this is great. I want to write an article about this on my blog or in this periodical, and then ask you, do you have an EPK? And be like, yeah, sure. Let me get that to you. And then you have to scurry off to try to quickly put something together. You want to be able to get back to them as soon as possible. And so having all that stuff set up in advance is crucial. And another key point that we want to stress here, as you have this EPK, it's something too that like your career will evolve over time. And so you're going to need to update it when you have a new release or a new live show event or tour that you're going to be going on and want to promote. Because again, this is how you make and maintain your personal and professional, connections in the industry. And as you get further into using EPKs as a tool, they can really be applied to a lot of different things. They can be applied when you're pitching songs for licensing for TV. One of our clients was putting together their album for consideration to be, possibly considered for a Grammy. So they put that together. They put a special EPK together for people that would be judging and reviewing that. So it really has a lot of different uses. And if you have a service like Bandzoogle for your website, you can build a dedicated page like that really easily in a day or so, depending how organized you have your assets, and just get that all together and have it available. And then all you need to do is share the link to that page. And overall, it's going to make you look professional to other industry and, make you more accessible and more likely to be hired or promoted or whatever it is, again, that they're looking to do. And again, the worst thing you can do is not have it and have someone show interest in what you're doing and not be able to provide them that. We've had several artists go through that early on working with them because they were just so excited about the release and they released it before really planning everything out. And then we got the emergency panic call. What do I do? So-and-so needs this. How do I put this together? And then they're scrambling over the next 24 hours to put a professional looking EPK together. And if you have all the assets, it's possible. But if you don't, you're not gonna have time to put a photo shoot together so you can look, a certain way for those things. So just keep that in mind before you move forward with any major project, that you want to have a way to sell that idea or project, event, whatever it is, to whoever it is that you're going to be targeting with that. Because the last thing, again, what you want to do is look like an amateur.
I do want to just say, as a rule of thumb, when you're looking at your EPK, obviously all the stuff that Greg bullet pointed in, you need all that stuff, but a good rule of thumb is just put yourself in the shoes of the people that are visiting there. Go through it each time thinking, okay, I'm trying to write an article about this artist, or I'm trying to book this artist. And from that lens, navigate your thing and see if you're organizing it in a way that is convenient and that, easy to read and stuff like that. So that's always kind of the double check on your EPKs. Just kind of put yourself in the shoes of the various roles that will use your EPK, and that being press, promoters for shows that you're already doing, bookers for shows that you're trying to land. These are all people that'll come in and want your photos and want your bio and all that kind of stuff. So just make sure it's all clear. And like Greg was saying, that download button is key, because then they don't need to do it while they're physically on your page. They can download it and do it later. So that's all
Yeah.
stuff, and it means everything. I mean, someone might show interest in writing an article about you and then visit your EPK and be like, this is going to be a lot harder than it's worth. If you crafted a good bio and a good story, and you kind of presenting your brand in a way that's easily understood, they'll be like, ooh, this is easy. This article is already writing itself. So you'll see a big difference if you have a well organized and presented EPK.
Yeah, I mean that's an absolutely great point, and you really, if you could do what Tita just said, you're going to have some success and put together a really solid electronic press kit. And when you're done and you have it done before you show it to press, always remember, show it to some fans, show it to some colleagues, and just get their feedback on it. That'll also be helpful when assembling it, to make sure that everything looks the way it should, look, because you're putting the time that you want to invest into an EBK will pay you back, because again, it's how you'll get work, it's how you'll get press coverage, it's how, and from those things you'll make money from shows, make money from selling your music, and then also hopefully then by an extension of that, be growing your audience, because people will be learning more about you in the press and seeing you at more live shows. So it's really worth investing your time into creating it. So that looks like it's going to be our show for today. We thank everyone who tuned in for tuning in. Everyone have a great day, and remember that we are always here for you to help with your career if you need it. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in creating a professional brand that's going to help you to transform your casual followers into financial supporters, then I invite you to take our free brand creation program that we call your Signature Sales Story. You can find the link for it in the description below. And please don't forget to subscribe. Your support really matters and helps us a lot. Have a great day.